So I'm going to finish my story about my relationship with Molly Ma. So when I first met him, first of all, he lied to me about who he was. He convinced me that he was something else besides what he actually was. I remember meeting him, like I told you guys, coming outside of the Hard Rock. When I seen them, he was with an entourage full of people. He sent his friend up to come get me. I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I'm, going to meet Pitbull. I get in the back of the Maybach and I realize, it's not him, but I still have a conversation with this guy. He seems nice. I give him my number, and maybe a couple days, not even a day later, he calls me. He's like, hey, what's up? Like, I want to take you out. So we go out on a date, and when we get on this date, I'm asking him questions, trying to get to know him. He's asking me questions, trying to get to know me. So I asked him about, another woman, if he was seeing somebody, and he said no, that, he was like, no, I used to be married. He said, so there's nobody serious right now. So I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. So what do you do? What do you do for a living? So he tells me, he's like, I'm a producer. Not only did he tell me that he was a producer, so he lied to me about who he was and then tried to convince me that he wasn't anything else. Like, oh no, I'm a producer. Look at all these pictures. I work with artists. Not only did he didn't even stop there, you guys. He started sending pictures and stuff like that to my phone, right? After we end the date, he's like, yeah, he starts sending me, pictures and stuff. So he's really trying hard to convince me that he's this producer guy. So I had no reason to think that he was anything else, and I was young at the time. I was 19 years old. So of course, I'm like, oh, okay. All right. So he wants to see me again. We go out on another date, right? We go to the movies, me, him, and his bodyguard again. And we get there and I'm like, oh, it's closed. And so they start laughing. I'm like, what's funny? So the manager, I guess he knows the manager at the movie theater. So the manager comes down and he tips the manager money to let us in the movies, right? So at this time, again, you guys, I'm young. So it didn't bing, as you guys, I'm telling you the story, a lot of you guys are like, oh, he was just trying to suck you in. I didn't know that. You know what I mean? I'm thinking oh, this is so sweet. I'm not thinking oh, he does this all the time. This is what he does. No, not at all. I'm thinking, oh, this is so sweet and stuff. And I think he wanted to do something that night sexual, because we were in the movie theater, and so he took my hand and tried to rub himself, and I was very, very shy, and I didn't want to do that, especially not in the movie theater. I always thought that girls that did that kind of thing wasn't, it wasn't a classy thing to do. And so, I was telling you guys, I was raised in a city where there wasn't too many black people. And then I changed in high school. I changed to a city over, and we still wasn't in a city where we were exposed to a lot of violence, or a lot of the neighborhood drug dealer, or the neighborhood. It wasn't that kind of city. I'm telling you guys, it was really dry, really boring. We didn't have these kind of things, and you definitely didn't know anything about no neighborhood pimp. We didn't have that. You had to go way out to the city somewhere. You couldn't